What's up, guys? Welcome back to Courtside Talks. My name is Stefan, and today I want to ask you a question. Do European players belong in the NBA? Now, that's a question that's been brought up a couple of times, especially this season after the All-Star game, where you had a couple of European players who just couldn't care enough. But if we're going to be talking about all the European players currently playing in the NBA, we got, and I'm starting from the top, Giannis, Jokic, and Doncic. Then we got Gobert, Valanciunas, Vucevic, Dragic, Bogdanovic, Markkanen, Porzingis, Wembanyama, Schroeder, Sabonis, and so on and so on. Now, to answer your question if the European players belong in the NBA, well, of course they do. If you just look at any of the stats of any of the players mentioned, you'll see that they all have amazing stats for the clubs in which they play for. Now, when it comes to the NBA, it's all about flashiness, good moves, amazing stuff, and not so much really about the game as in Europe, which you can see by the highlights, by the fans, by every single thing mentioned, and it's not so much about tactics as it is on one-on-one dunking, posterizing, clutching points, and so on. So even though these players are really amazing, and they really are they good enough for the NBA? Are they good enough for the All-Star? Now, if we take Giannis, Jokic, and Doncic, which all together have 19 appearances for the All-Star, and let me remind you, LeBron himself has 20 performances. Everybody else in the league, which comes from Europe, has only a miserable 11 performances in the All-Star game. Sabonis and Gobert have 3, Vucevic 2, and everybody else 1 or 0. Which really comes to show that European players aren't that flashy when playing the ball game. They're really more into tactics and just winning. Now, I don't think that's something that's only in the current state right now. If you take the past players which have been in the All-Star game, Nowitzki, Tony Parker, the Gasol brothers, and you take them away, they all together have 29 appearances in the All-Star game. And again, let me remind you, only LeBron James himself has 20. Everybody else had 1 or 0. And we're talking about Vlade Divac, Peja Stojakovic, Drazen Petrovic, Tony Kukoc, Detlef Schrempf, Andrei Kirilenko, Hidayet Turkoglu, Arvydas Sabonis, younger Sabonis' dad, if you guys might remember. They all together have only 8 appearances in the All-Star. And they were amazing players. Those guys just didn't care. Now, as we've seen the All-Star game plummet in viewership throughout the years, in the past 20 years, we should ask ourselves this question. Does anybody really want to watch you shooting from half court, uncontested shots, dunks on nobody, and just not playing defense? European players only want a competition. It's about your team winning and becoming the champion of Europe, which is the only important thing. Now, some players claim that the NBA suits them better because it suits their style of play a lot more. So in some cases, the EuroLeague and Europe competitions are way more competitive than the ones in the NBA, especially if you're playing a team that doesn't really care if they win or lose because they're playing 80 games anyway, and half the season they're tanking all their players. They don't really care. It's just another game in the bag for them. While in Europe, every game is played until you die or you win. And that's the truth. And another thing that gets you in those games is the atmosphere in the game itself. Now, if you've been to a Serbian game, if you've been to a Greek game or a Turkish game, you will know what I'm talking about. When the whole arena chants your name, that's when you get the feeling that you have to play 200% of your possibilities, not just 100%. And some guys say it's much better to play in that kind of environment than the environment in the NBA where the whole main goal is just to chant defense or boo the other player or eat a hot dog. But that's a whole different topic. Anyway, the main question is, are Europeans good for the NBA? Well, yeah, because they're the main contenders for the MVP award for the regular season. 2 of them got back-to-back MVP awards for the regular season. Last year, a European got the MVP for the playoffs and got their team a ring, which comes to tell me that Europeans indeed are changing the game. But are they flashy? No. Do they care about the All-Star game? It's not competitive. It's not enough of a challenge for them. Keep that in mind. And who knows, maybe the competitiveness will come back in next year's All-Star game. maybe it'll be different. Probably not. Thank you guys for yet another video and watching. And if you didn't subscribe to the channel and like this video, comment in the section below who your favorite player from Europe is and who brings the most to the NBA game. And hopefully I'll see you soon. My name is Stefan, and I hope you have a great and wonderful day. Bye.